A very good morning, everyone. Myself, Vinitha, working as lecturer in Government Polytechnic, Mirle. Once again, I'd like to welcome you all for the session 5 on formation of steam. So, in today's session, we will be covering the continuation of numerical examples, that is on the internal energy and the definition of entropy and few numerical examples on it. So, in the session 4, we solved few numerical examples on the VG, that is on the specific volume, and we studied the definition of external work done, and we solved the problem involved in it. And thirdly, we studied the definition of internal energy and the value of internal energy for various condition of steam. And again, we solved one problem on the internal energy. In today's session, let us continue the problem on internal energy and let us study about the entropy. So to solve the problem, we should know some of the formulas. So in the previous session itself, we told you that the internal energy for wet steam is given by, it's a difference between the heat and the work done. That you remember. So it's a difference between the enthalpy and work done is defined as what? The internal energy. Therefore, the internal energy for wet steam is given by HF plus X into HFG minus 100 into P into X into VG. 100 is for what? To keep the work done in terms of kilojoules per kg, we have taken 100. So the P will be in terms of bar. So second one is the internal energy of dry steam. So the internal energy of dry steam is given by HF plus HFG minus 100 into P into Vg. So here, since the steam is completely dry, the value of X will be 1. So similarly, the internal energy for superheated steam is given as, we can write as directly this term. I can write this term as Hg itself. That is, so I'll tell Hg plus Cp into T saturated, T superheated minus T saturated minus 100 P superheated. So this is a formula for internal energy for the superheated steam. So let us consider the second example, second problem on the internal energy. Let us read the problem first and try to understand the problem, what they have given it. And then let us tabulate the given data. I'll read the question once. So what they have asked, find the internal energy of 1 kg of superheated steam at a pressure of 10 bar and 280 degree Celsius. If this steam be expanded to a pressure of 1.6 bar and 0.8 dry, determine the change in internal energy. Assume specific heat of superheated steam as 2.1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So this is the question what they have given. So what I can understand by reading the question. So they have given for, we need to find out the internal energy for 1 kg of superheated steam. So the condition itself, they have given it as the steam is superheated steam. So what they have given the initial pressure and initial temperature. So initially what they are trying to tell us, initially the steam was superheated steam which had a pressure of 10 bar and temperature 280 degrees Celsius. When the steam was expanded in a turbine, let us take a turbine. So when I'll write the turbine moment, just a schematic representation of a turbine. If this is a entrance and if I say this is the exit, so this is the exit condition and this is the inlet condition. So when the steam was entering the turbine or an engine, the condition of steam was, it was a superheated steam which had the pressure of 10 bar and temperature 280 degree Celsius. So when the steam was expanded, when some work done was happened, the steam is expanded. So the pressure has been reduced. The pressure has been reduced to 1.6 bar and to X as 0.8 dry. So the superheated steam has been converted into wet steam when it was expanded in a, let us take a turbine or a engine. So, okay, that is the condition what they have given. And then what they said, it's 0.8 dry. So, I need to determine the change in internal energy. What is the change in internal energy when the steam was converted from superheated steam to the wet steam? So, you need to find out the change in internal energy. If you observe this problem carefully, we have solved similar type of problem in enthalpy also. So in that particular question, they had asked us to find out the drop in enthalpy. Okay. So in this problem, they are asking us to find out the change in internal energy. But the condition is same. In that also, the initial condition was superheated steam. The superheated steam was converted into a wet steam. The same condition applies here also. But the thing is, we need to find out the change in internal energy, not the enthalpy. Okay, so that's the question you need to remember. So you need to find out the change in internal energy when 1 kg of superheated steam was expanded to the wet steam. So let us remember in this way. So the initial condition is, I'll say the initial condition as 1 and the exit condition as 2. So I'll write it as P1, P1 as 10 bar and T superheated as 280 degree Celsius and the exit condition as 2. So I'll write P2 as 1.6 bar and X equals 0.8. And the value of Cp what they've given us, it's 2.1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So let us see the steam table for again. I hope for these sessions you people are bringing the steam table and you are trying to solve the problem along with me itself. Hoping that I'll continue the problem. So for 10 bar, let us see the value of enthalpy. It is 762.6. You can see here. And HFG is 2013.6. And VG is 0.194. And T saturation is 179.9. So from steam table, we have taken this 4 values. That is the values of HF, HFG, VG and T saturation. So we know that enthalpy is equal to what? Enthalpy is the difference between, the internal energy is the difference between the enthalpy and the work done. So therefore, first to simplify the answers, to simplify the question, what I'll do, I'll first calculate the enthalpy and then I'll calculate the work done and then I'll subtract the value, subtract the 2 values. Okay, so for that particular reason, since the initial condition of the steam is superheated steam, I'll write the formula. Just recall the formula. So what is the formula we had? T superheated equals H superheated equals Hg plus Cp into T superheated minus T saturated. This is the enthalpy for the superheated steam. So substitute the values. So we know all the values. The answer what we got it is this. Take out the calci and calculate this value and compare the value to what you got it. Okay. So once you got this answer, so now I find out this what? Hg. So as I told you, the internal energy of superheated steam is H superheated minus 100 P into V superheated. Now I got the answer for H superheated. So then in the problem itself, they have given the value of P as 10 bar. So now it is the time for me to calculate V superheated. So V superheated can be calculated by using the formula Charles law. By applying Charles law, I can find out the value of V superheated. Therefore, V superheated will be equal to T superheated by T saturated into Vg. Okay. So, remember that, but in this particular condition, while finding out the V super value, so the temperature must be in the absolute scale. Which scale? It must be in the absolute scale. That means you need to find out, you have to keep the temperature in terms of Kelvin, not in the degree Celsius. To convert the degree Celsius into the Kelvin scale, we going to add 273. Okay, so what we are doing? We are trying to convert the degree Celsius temperature into the Kelvin. Okay, so that is the thing that what we have done. That is the reason we have taken 280 plus 273 divided by 179.9 plus 273. So by substituting the values, we'll get the value of V superheated. So the obtained value of V superheated will be substituted in this equation. So already we have got the value of H superheated. The value of H superheated is how much? It's 2986.7, and this portion of the formula will yield me the work done. Therefore it's 100 into 10 into 0.237, that is the value of V superheated, what I got it from this particular equation. So if I substitute all these things, so then ultimate answer what we'll get it is, it's 2749.4 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So this is the one part. So now we were able to find out the value of internal energy of superheated steam. So then now we need to find out the value of internal energy for the exit condition. That is the reason why they have given it as VUE. So if we take for the exit condition, so in the exit condition, they have mentioned the pressure as it as 1.6 bar, and they have mentioned and they have given the value of X as 0.8. So that means the condition of the steam at the exit is, it's a wet steam. The steam that is available at the exit of an engine is a wet steam. So for this particular condition, now we need to find out the internal energy first. So what do we need to find out? We need to find out the internal energy for the exit condition at a pressure of 1.6 bar and dryness 0.8. So from the steam table, I assume that already you people know how to see the steam table, and thinking that I have not pasted the steam table scanned copy. Okay, so from steam table for pressure 1.6 bar, let us note down this values for HF, HFG and VG. So for HF, it is 475.4 kilojoules per kg, and HFG it is 2220.9, and VG is 1.091 meter cube per kg. So taking these values from the steam table, let us try to calculate the internal energy for the wet steam, or I can say it as a expanded steam. So from the superheated steam it has been expanded to wet steam. That is a meaning. So you can write any word, even though if you write wet steam also correct, if you write expanded steam then even that is also right. Okay, so now let us try to find out the internal energy for the wet steam. So we know that for the wet steam, so in general, U is given by what? The enthalpy minus work done. So for the wet steam, the internal energy for the wet steam, I'll take the enthalpy of the wet steam minus the enthalpy of, the work done of the wet steam. So you can calculate this separately and this separately, and then you can substitute this, or directly you can substitute these values in the equation of internal energy. That is left to you people. So the enthalpy for the wet steam is given by HF plus X into HFG. I am putting a bracket so that you can distinguish the value of enthalpy. Okay. Similarly, the work done for the wet steam is given by 100 into P into X into Vg. Right. So, I am putting a bracket so that you can distinguish between H and W. So, this is the value of H and this is the value of W. So, therefore, the internal energy, that is the internal energy of expanded steam or a wet steam, is equal to HF plus X into HFG minus 100 into P into X into Vg. So let us substitute these values in the equation. So we know that this value is obtained from the steam table. This is given in the problem. So this is also obtained from the steam table. So you try to solve the value for these particular numbers which are there inside the bracket first. Then you'll get the correct answer. Okay. So you multiply 0.8 into 222 first. Then you add the obtained value with this one. So similarly, I'll substitute the values for work done in the equation of work done, that is 100 into 1.6 is the pressure, 1.6 bar into 0.8, 0.8 is the dryness fraction and 1.019 is the Vg. So I'll substitute and I'll get this answer. So the answer, that is the enthalpy, the internal energy for the exit condition is 212.4 kilojoules per kg. So this is the value of internal energy what we obtain for the exit condition. But in the question, they have not asked us to find out the internal energy, but they have asked us to find out the change in internal energy. So if you recall the enthalpy problem, one of the enthalpy problem, even in enthalpy problem, they had given two conditions. One was the superheated condition, again the same was the wet condition. In that particular question, they had asked us to find the drop in enthalpy. Because there was a reduction in the enthalpy, there will be a reduction in enthalpy. So in that particular problem, they have asked us to find out the drop in enthalpy. Similarly, here they have asked us to find out the change in internal energy. So I need to find out the change in internal energy, not the internal energy. Therefore, I am going to subtract the internal energy of superheated steam and the internal energy of the wet steam or the expanded steam. So if we substitute these values, so the ultimate answer what we'll get it is 637 kilojoules per kg. So there was when we expanded the stream from superheated condition to the wet condition, the change in internal energy was 637 kilojoules per kg. That is the meaning of this particular problem. So there is a change in internal energy and there is a change in enthalpy. So the ultimate change in internal energy what we get it at the end is 637 kilojoules per kg. So if you recall the problem once, in this particular problem, first we try to solve the problem. That is, we try to find out the internal energy of the superheated steam. That was the first condition. By using the data given in the problem, this is what we have find out the enthalpy of the superheated steam. So here we have find out the value for the specific volume for the superheated steam, and at last we have find out the value for the superheated steam. So in the second condition, for the exit condition, similarly for the given pressure and value of dryness fraction, we're going to take out the value of HF, HFG and VG from the steam table, and we're going to substitute these values in the internal energy equation. Then we'll obtain the value of internal energy for the exit condition or for the expanded steam. So in the last, since they have asked us to find the change in internal energy, we're going to subtract the internal energy of the superheated steam from the wet steam. So the answer what we'll get is 637 kilojoules per kg. So, explanation of the entropy in the YouTube. If you're interested, so let us watch this.
Now let us introduce a term
Please for 1 minute.
entropy, formally.
Just observe the
and
video.
That would be a system property. This means entropy is a property of the system which depends upon the state, not the path. Okay. To understand that, let's have a look at this cycle. So you have a path 1A2 and then you have a path 2B1. So this is a reversible cycle. Okay. For a reversible cycle, you have this integral, isn't it? You have this integral which is equal to 0 for a reversible cycle. So if you split this, you have two paths. The first one is path A, so you have 1 to 2 process going from 1 to 2, and the second process goes from 2 to 1. So this becomes 1 to 2, okay, delta Q upon T, and this is via path A. Alright, and then you have plus 2 to 1 delta Q B upon T. This has to be 0. Okay, so if you put them across the equal to sign, you would have integral 1 to 2 delta Q via path A upon T is equal to minus 2 to 1 integral this upon T. Now if you have to get rid of this negative sign, flip the integrals, limit, so you'll have again 1 to 2 over here. Okay, so this means that this value and this value, it is same. No matter what path you take path A or you take path B, it is same, as it depends upon the end states 1 and 2. So this means that this property, that is integral, or you can say delta Q upon T, this value depends only on points, not on path. Okay, so this value becomes a system property. This becomes a system property. Okay. Now, Clausius then said that because this is the system property, because we are mathematically able to prove that this only depends upon the paths, on the points, not on the paths. So this becomes a property, and we call this property by the name of entropy. So mathematically, your entropy is equal to dq upon t. So if you put a differential sign across it, you get ds is equal to dq upon t. And the SI unit for this would be kilojoule per Kelvin. So kilojoule per Kelvin are the unit for entropy, and entropy is a system property. Remember that. Okay. So this gives a mathematical relation to us for the property of entropy. So I hope you understood this. Now let's move on to the next video and derive a mathematical relation for.
I think you have understood the why we're going to call the entropy as a property by watching this video. And also so after watching the video, we can conclude that entropy is a property. It depends upon the property, not on the path. Okay. So and even we understood that it is given by the integral q by t. That is what we understood by watching the video on the YouTube, by clicking on this link. Okay. So then now so remember, the entropy means what? It's a property of the system which increases with the addition of the heat and decreases with the removal of the heat. So that's the definition of entropy. And if we come for the definition of entropy of wet steam, it's the addition of entropy of water plus the entropy during the evaporation process can be defined as entropy of wet steam. So it's exactly similar to the enthalpy of the water or enthalpy of the wet steam. In place of H, we are writing it as S. That's it. So in place of H, what I'm writing it as S. In place of H, I have written it as yes. That's it. So how can I express it? SF plus X into HFG by T, or I can write as SF plus X into SFG. So similarly, for the dry steam, we know that the value of X will be 1. So it's a summation of entropy of water plus entropy change during the evaporation. So it is expressed as what? SF plus S into FG. So where SF will be given by the equation SF equals CW log, it's log E, remember that, T by 273. Okay. So where CW indicates specific heat of water at constant pressure, T will be the saturation temperature, and 273 is that we are heating the water from 0 degrees Celsius. You remember that. To keep it in Kelvin cycle, 0 means it's 273. That's what we are written. 273 Kelvin. So SF is given by what? CW natural log T by 273. Similarly, if we come for the entropy of superheated steam, it is given as SG plus 2.3. Why 2.3? To convert natural log into log to base 10, we are multiplying it by 2.3. So 2.3 Cp log T superheated by T saturated. So this is the equation. So now let us try to solve a problem on entropy. So in this particular problem, let us read the problem once so that we can understand what is the actual data they have given and what do we need to find out. Find the entropy of 1 kg of dry saturated steam at a pressure of 5.2 bar. The boiling point of water at this pressure is given as 152.6 degrees Celsius and its total heat at this temperature is 2110 kilojoules per kg. So this is what they have given. So what they have asked to find out? So I need to find out SG, that is the entropy of dry saturated steam, where at a pressure of 5.2 bar. So at a pressure of 5.2 bar, I need to find out SG. When? So when the boiling point of water at this pressure is given as 152.6 degrees Celsius. So remember that. So in the first session itself, I have told you that the boiling point of the water will be technically referred as what? The saturation temperature. So the boiling point of water, what they have given, they are referring to what? They are referring for the saturation temperature. So this is the meaning what they have given in the problem. So the 152.6 degrees Celsius, it refers the saturation temperature. Okay. So and its total heat. So they have given the T saturation, that is 152.6 degrees Celsius. Since we need to find out the entropy, we need to convert the Celsius scale into the Kelvin scale. So I think you know that if you want to convert the Celsius scale into the Kelvin scale, then we need to add 273 to the given value. So I'm going to add 273 for the 152.6 degrees Celsius. Then I'll get it 425.6. That will be in Kelvin. Okay. So we are converting the saturation temperature, what they have given in Celsius scale, into the Kelvin scale. Then what is the next thing what they have given? And its total heat at this temperature is 2110 kilojoules per kg. What do you mean by that? That means, so what they have given? They have given us the saturation temperature. Where the saturation temperature lies? So one thing we need to remember, total heat. I told you in some problem itself that the total heat or the quantity or heat, the amount of heat refers to what? Enthalpy. So total heat means it's the enthalpy, the enthalpy what they have given. So enthalpy at this temperature means where that the temperature exists. The temperature exists in this particular region. What we going to call this region as? Latent heat of evaporization. How are we going to express it? We are going to express that as HFG. Understood? So what does it refers? The total heat at this temperature means, so they have given the enthalpy for this particular temperature, which is HFG is 2110 kilojoules per kg. So this is what they have given. So they have given the value of HFG as 2110 kilojoules per kg. So this is the data what they have given in the problem. So now I need to find out SG by using this data. Since they are not given, so what I know, SG equals SF plus HFG by T, right? I know this equation, but they are not given the value of SF. But I know the equation for SF, that is CW. You can write it as 2.3 here itself. It's because log 10, CW 2.3 log T by 273 plus HFG by T. Okay. Why I have written 2.3? Remember that to convert the natural log to log base 10, I am multiplying that by 2.3. What does CW indicates? The CW indicates The specific heat of water at constant pressure. The specific heat of water is 4.2. Okay, if they are not mentioned the problem, we have to remember this value. I told you in the previous sessions itself that we need to remember the value of Cp and Cw. I'll substitute the values. 2.3, Cw is 4.2, it's log 10. This is the temperature, saturation temperature, what they have given, 425.6 divided by 273 plus 2110. It is 2110. I think it's a typing mistake. 2110 divided by 425.6. So if you substitute these values, you will get 6.82 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So the entropy of the dry steam, what we are going to obtain is 6.82 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So this is the answer what we wanted. So you cross check with your answer whether you got the same answer or you are getting some other answer. Okay. So in the assignment, so if you download the e-content of the notes of 5th session 5, I have given a problem in the assignment. In the assignment, I have given a problem on entropy. You try it once. Otherwise, let us try to solve the problem on the next session. So that's all for this particular session 5. Thank you, students. Thank you one and all.